Hi, I'm Frances Weller, news anchor for WECT, the NBC affiliate in Wilmington, North Carolina. I'm submitting my entry for Anchor of the Year because I think this has been a banner year. Not just what has happened on the desk, but away from it.
Okay, it's going on right now, an event that could make a huge difference for some people right here in our community. WECT's Frances Weller live at the annual Fran's Fans Collection. She's at the Walmart at Monkey Junction. Fran, how's it going so far in the first hour?
You know what, John, it's been a steady stream of people coming in, buying fans, and they all have one thing in common that they say. They can't imagine someone not having so much as a fan. And right now, we are continuing to get fans to come in. These have all been sold, but we've got a lot of fans over here that need to be sold, so they're waiting on you. We've got these gentlemen who are purchasing. Well, I don't know. I'm going to ask, how many fans are you all buying?
We're going to buy 10, yeah.
And you're doing this because what?
Well, I think we all can relate, you know, no AC, middle of summer. We live in southeastern North Carolina. And so I think it's important that everybody has a way to cool down, you know, and so this is a perfect way to give back.
This year, our Fran's Fans Drive, which I coordinate every year, collected a record number of the cooling devices to help people in our community who can't afford them. And then there was Weller's Wheels, which I coordinate every December to collect bikes for kids whose families can't afford them. And then, of course, it's what's happened on the anchor desk with some of my special reports, including investigative reports, an exclusive interview with a university chancellor who left under controversial conditions, and an exclusive interview with a local woman who underwent a sex change.
You're watching WECT News at 5.
It is likely to be one of the most talked about stories of the year. Bruce Jenner's sexual transformation has dominated national and international headlines. It's not every day a former Olympian and high-profile reality TV star, husband and father announces he's changing sexes. But what has been the topic of many of your conversations for several weeks now has been a way of life for Chastity Scott. Like Bruce, she was born a boy. Tonight, she's taking us inside the life of a transgender. Now, we should warn you, some of the content of this story contains sexual language. She's undoubtedly one of the most recognizable performers on local stages. And when Chastity Scott is not singing sultry solos at venues like Thillian Hall in Wilmington, you can find her singing gospel music in the church with the trio Micah's Rule. Her voice is only part of her diversity. What many don't know is that this alto used to be a tenor. This she used to be a he. When did you first realize, I don't really want to be a boy?
I was 4 years old, and I remember telling my mother, I cannot do this, that I'm not a boy. Don't cut my hair, don't put me in these clothes.
She looked like a boy, but was convinced she was a girl.
I truly know that I was.
Dressing in female clothes.
My grandmother had this rack of clothes behind her door, and I would always go over there, and it was fun because when she would go uptown, I would wear her shoes and her clothes. They were hideous, but it was freeing.
Her feminine ways were anything but freeing, though, in the small town of Fair Bluff, North Carolina. At 15, she was forced to leave home, live with a friend in Durham after her parents put her out.
It was, if you're going to wear those clothes, you can't live here. If you're going to do that, you just can't live here.
For years, she would live as a male.
I even tried to be gay at one time, really tried to live that lifestyle, thought that's what, I should do for so many years.
But she says she was living a lie and desperately needed and wanted a change, a sex change.
I just felt like if I could cut it off, I would be different. I'd be the person I was supposed to be if I could just cut it off. Because I thought that's how it worked. You just cut it off and all of a sudden a vagina appears, but you can't do that.
At 30, the boy she had been since birth would become a girl, a woman. Her male past would no longer exist. Who were you as the male?
Well, we won't call it. I don't ever say that name.
You don't?
Mm-mm.
And you won't tell me now?
No.
Ever?
No. That person is no longer.
Coming up, boy X legally and physically becomes Chastity Scott, but it's a sex change that comes with some bumps and bruises.
I went out with a guy and basically he told me he would kill me if I ever called him again, or if he saw me in town. It was pretty bad.
Coming up tonight at 6 o'clock, the second part of our special report, Switching Sexes Inside the Transgender Life. From changing genders to changing races, one NAACP leader is stepping down after being accused of pretending to be black for years. We're getting ready for Tropical Storm Arthur, and so are other organizations in our area. The Red Cross is in its preparation stage for the storm as it moves closer. WECT's Casey Cunningham is in the studio now to tell us what that means exactly. Casey? Well, as we told you in the past half hour, Bladen and parts of Pender County were under a tornado warning that has since expired, but Brunswick County received the first tornado warning of the day earlier this morning. The county is under a state of emergency with high water reported on several roadways. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I'm Frances Weller. All eyes are on Arthur tonight as southeastern North Carolina braces for the system to pass by us. I am joined by Chief Meteorologist Gannon Medwick, who of course is keeping a very close eye on the storm. Now, this is a snapshot of what happened this year. I'm proud to submit this entry as Anchor of the Year. I appreciate your consideration.